And this is it. Grand finals of the BPVG Challenge. I'm here with my boy Jake, and I'm Solix Cross, if you don't remember. And now, let's get into it. We got Stefan versus our good friend Elena here, and it's going to be an exciting match for sure.
Yeah, so Stefan, we featured once on stream. I was not commentating, but I made sure that Stefan was sitting on the away side, although I don't believe he is this time. So we will know what the Zoroark is this time.
Nice! All right, that's actually pretty good, too.
Yeah, I mean, helps us, takes a bit of the guessing work and fun out of it. But we have Stefan's team again, that Hisuian Zoroark, Rillaboom, King Gambit, Clefairy, Volcarona, and Gastrodon.
Yes, this team has been being a thorn in everyone's side today. Definitely shout out to that Clefairy. Clefairy just being such a good supporting Pokemon this format. Just being able to make your Pokemon on the left or right of Clefairy just that much tankier. It's just such a good ability. And, of course, Life Dew to give that recovery as well. Excellent, excellent supporting Pokemon. Something you have to account for in your matchups, especially in this particular team as well. And then Zoroark, just throwing you for a loop with that ability as well. It's very frustrating to play against.
Yeah, and now we have Elena's team, which we just featured on stream in top 4 there. We have that solid Rancor of Basculegion, Pelipper, Archaludon, as well as the Ursaluna Blood Moon and the Balance Brothers Incineroar and Rillaboom. So, very, very good Pokemon here. Stefan running something a little bit tricksy, as the Brits would say, with that Hisuian Zoroark. But the rest, relatively, not standard, but self-explanatory, with that King Gambit, Volcarona, and Clefairy having those setup moves, Clefairy protecting them, and Gastrodon, I would have to assume, being there for something like maybe Dondozo, maybe for... I don't know, but Gastrodon's there.
The Gastrodon's there.
And I think it's going to do a lot of work in this matchup of 2 water types. And so a Rillaboom's probably going to have to do a good amount of lifting here.
Yes, and of course, Elena's team is looking relatively standard for this format too. The Archaludon has been a mainstay. A lot of people using this Pokemon, especially with Pelipper alongside it, just for those powerful elect shots. It's very, very scary to be up against, especially after that +1 boost. But it looks like our players are ready to start the match. Let's go ahead and see it in action.
All right, so we are going to see right off the bat Elena leading out with that Rillaboom and Pelipper, possibly calling out that Gastrodon might lead, and it is. So looking for, as a pretty good lead for Elena here, threatening both of Stefan's Pokemon. Stefan's Pokemon not nearly as threatening, thanks to this rain, of course, neutering that Volcarona's damage output by quite a bit.
Well, here's the thing. Is it in fact the Gastrodon at all? Like, that this is the mix-up now. We have this opportunity to now force our opponent to think flexibly. Which Pokemon is a Zoroark and which one is not? It's so interesting to see how this plays out. And looks like we're locking in a Terra immediately, as Volcarona will now go for this Dragon typing. Very rare typing on a Volcarona, but it's still just as good.
Yeah, we have a Dragonfly in Flygon, but how about a Dragonfly in Volcarona? A fake out coming out from the Rillaboom.
Oh, it's the Gastrodon, which isn't here. Didn't connect, and you know why? It's because we got that illusion on deck. And now, all of this momentum has shifted in your favor, since Fake Out, completely useless move, is going to go into that Zoroark.
Yeah, so I think it's a very odd call for Elena there. I don't think Fake Out gained you a lot of mileage going into a Gastrodon when it very well could have just been a flat-out Wood Hammer.
It could have been just a Wood Hammer.
If you thought it was actually the Gastrodon, you didn't even need to go for Grassy Glide. I think a Wood Hammer would have done just fine. And had it connected into that Zoroark, Stefan would be down a Zoroark.
Yeah.
But getting
I think there's a Focus Sash on Zoroark. Let me take a look.
That is a choice Specs.
It's Specs. Yeah. Ooh, that thing would go down.
Yep. So Wood Hammer here, going to come out onto Volcarona. Does a very good amount of damage. Now the Tailwind's up. It is the fastest thing on the field. And Pelipper's Weather Ball now going to go into that Volcarona as well, with the Dragon type not going to do a ton of damage. Could have been a Hurricane there. Very curious as to what Elena was thinking there. as it just goes for another Quiver Dance, shrugging off some of that damage, as another Hyper Voice from quote-unquote Gastrodon comes out.
You see, this is the problem. It's not even necessarily just the early game pressure, but now the Zoroark has already been able to do huge amounts of damage to your team, and you lost momentum, and now you're in this position of, what do I do next? How do I beat this? This Volcarona already has +1, +2 stats, and it just keeps gaining if it keeps going for that Quiver Dance again. Or it can just start knocking out Pokemon too, and we still have to worry about Gastrodon?
Yeah, so I think Elena's actually in a decent spot here, where Basculation hits the field, Blood Moon Ursaluna hits the field, Tailwind is up, and thanks to that Tailwind, even though the Volcarona is at +2, the Basculation is effectively at +6? No, more, because it's double. It's quadruple speed. Yeah, it's essentially +6. Volcarona going to go for a Protect here so that Rillaboom can come in and set up a Fake Out pressure. But Elena just going for a Protect on Ursaluna Blood Moon despite having the momentum here to potentially just KO Zoroark.
This Protect is pretty huge here, not going to take that much damage or any at all from this Basculation. So now we could even go for Fake Out and switch into Gastrodon relatively safely. You might be taking one of those last respects into that slot though, so I'm not sure if Stefan is going to go ahead and lock that in. As a matter of fact, it looks like they kept it in both of those Pokemon as we see a Terra coming into this Blood Moon into the normal typing.
Yeah, so the Terra Normal, Ursaluna Blood Moon, gonna do less damage from that. Oh, Grass Glide into Basculation is gonna be a one-hit KO.
Woo!
As, yeah, I don't know if the Ursaluna, it is able to survive the Giga Drain, but it seems like too little too late, as that Volcarona is now at +2 special defense. A Terra Normal Blood Moon with the Life Orb is going to be able to go into that Rillaboom, and without the Assault, that's going to be a clean one-hit KO. But the damage has been done. This Volcarona is already way ahead of the curve, outspeeding this Ursaluna Blood Moon. And Elena just does not have the Life Orb actually going to take out the Ursaluna here. And that is going to be a very clean game for Stefan. I think Elena needs to make an adjustment here. Of course, she did get tricked by the illusion that Zoroark set up, but I still think there was a better turn one play there that didn't involve Fake Out. Additionally, I think, well, once that Rillaboom hit the field and had a Grassy Glide that just one-shot the Basculation, which I didn't anticipate. Yeah, I think the big misplay there, though, was protecting the Ursaluna Blood Moon when you had a very free turn with Tailwind up. And looking back at top 4, where I just was watching Elena play, she tends to have her foot on the gas at times and then reels it back, thinking maybe I'm going a little too fast. And she just needs to put all her eggs in the basket of go fast.
Yeah, you don't want to play at Stefan's pace at this point. They're already speeding through, trying to get their pushes, and they're already selecting things. Take your time, think a little bit more, and select the right targets. You know what I'm saying? Like, just take your time. It's okay.
You can take your time in your head,
Yeah.
but don't take your time taking those KOs. Elena has a very select few turns where she is going to be in the driver's seat. She has the Rain. She has Swift Swim. She has Tailwind. She has the speed advantage. She has the power advantage. Take advantage.
Yes, exactly.
Go crazy with it. And actually, what we're going to see is a very big change-up as Incineroar and Rillaboom hit the field in front of a Kingambit and a Gastrodon. Are either of those real? We'll find out very soon. As that's a real Kingambit.
That's a real Kingambit.
Ability, and Gastrodon is also intimidated.
Yes, and now you're in this situation again. Is that in fact the Gastrodon? I already saw it last turn. It can't be again this turn. Maybe this time we, instead of the Fake Out, we just go for that Woodhammer as you said before, and just go ahead and get a guaranteed knockout or add a lot of damage into that slot at minimum, right? So I would like to see that adjustment as a play, but what makes this even scarier is this +1 Kingambit. That is intimidating.
Yeah, you know for sure that this is a real Kingambit. You saw its ability proc. Had the Intimidate went into the Kingambit and its attack actually was lowered, yeah, you could think, oh, I can't Fake Out that slot. But a Fake Out is viable in this situation.
Yes. Okay, let's see what we did choose. Rain is coming down, and it looks like Kingambit is going to protect. despite having those boosts. I think that's a pretty smart play. We're going to deny that. Yes, very nice. Deny the fake out. I don't want you to know exactly what's what just yet. But if this fake out goes into the protect on Gastrodon, that would be a nice way to learn if that's Zoroark or not. But it looks like fake out went into that King Gambit instead.
Yeah, so just from the moves alone, Elena knows that Gastrodon is the real deal. It went for Protect. The Zoroark does not carry Protect, as it is the choice specs. So a little bit of information being given by Stefan here, but Elena's still having to play very carefully around this Terra, of course, but also the Zoroark that might be in the back.
Yes, this is a very interesting play here. This Woodhammer now not going to do nearly as much. Maybe this is the reality that they were facing in that first game. Now you're not going to get the KO at all. And in fact, not in... Wow, surviving both of those powerful attacks. And now the Kotal Cleave, bro, coming through and getting that serious knockout just now.
I think the resisted hit,
mean,
this has a chance to freeze. We'll see if it happens or not. 10%
no, a
chance,
freeze here
and
would
Pelipper
be huge.
Keeps flapping.
Oh, dude, could you imagine a freeze in this situation? I'm turning off my game. All right, you got it. I understand.
With the amount of damage that Pelipper just took, I'm curious if a Sucker Punch will threaten a KO. I believe not, but we'll see with that Black Glasses. The Gastrodon, having taken the leftovers and the Grassy Terrain, is a lot healthier than where it ended the turn, or originally ended the turn. But I'm just very impressed with how much damage that Rillaboom did as compared to the Pelipper.
Yes.
Rillaboom did nearly half of Gastrodon's HP, and Pelipper could not finish the job despite hitting it for neutral. That's just the power of the Miracle Seed and Woodhammer's base power, the terrain.
Yes.
That's a strong, strong monkey.
That's a very strong monkey, and he go boom. But now we're going to see this Clefairy coming into play. This is going to boost the defenses of the Pokemon on the left side, of course. But now, going for a Terra here for Archaladon too.
Yeah, so Archaladon going for the Terra here. Maybe thinking, ooh, I need to avoid this Gastrodon's Earth Power.
Yeah.
But I'm curious about that, given the fact that Gastrodon could not move first from that situation. What does interest me is the Tailwind here. Despite already being faster, maybe just wanting to get around that Sucker Punch.
Yes,
because I was saying before, I'm not sure if this is in KO range. I totally forgot about turn 1 of this game, where King Gambit got that Defiant boost. That's definitely enough to pick up the Pelipper.
I was actually going to bring that up, but I wanted to save it for a little later. I thought it would be a little surprise for you.
I would have been surprised, but for once, my brain functioned.
Imagine.
I'm trying, but my brain's not working again. So Clefairy on the field, defending this King Gambit. Another body press might do this King Gambit in, but the Clefairy just being able to redirect that attack anyways. As Elena does not fall for it, goes for an Electro Shot here, is going to do a clean amount of damage into Clefairy. Probably not enough for a KO, although I'd be shocked if Pelipper's Weather Ball did not pick up the KO.
Whoa, maybe it won't. With that bulk, let's see it right now. Is it a 2-hit knockout? No, Clefairy persists as the sword stance comes in. Oh no, that is not what you wanted to see. You did not want to see a +3 King Gambit at this point in the game.
No.
No, not even close.
No.
Not even close. And now it looks like this is prime time position. Sucker Punch gonna lock in on Pelipper if it does, and if that is what we do indeed choose. But it's a tough situation to be in. We can always redirect another attack and only suffer one attack with that Clefairy too. This is a pretty bad position for Elena.
Yeah, Elena just not looking in the shape she was at any point in this match. You know,
nah, not at all.
Elena looked like she had some momentum, and it's pretty lost now as a +3 helping hand boosted. Archaladon's bulky, but it's not that bulky, especially with those Black Glasses. That's going to be a clean knockout on Archaladon after it has no stamina boost. Weather Ball going to go into the King Gambit. With that Friend Guard, not going to be enough to KO.
Just not finding KOs when needed. And now guess who's coming back in? It's Incineroar with this Intimidate ability, and King Gambit is still in play, resisting defeat.
Yeah. King Gambit gonna be +4.
+4 King Gambit.
Fake
oh,
out
man.
on the table. Rain
Okay.
gone.
Nigga,
Pelipper's offensive prowess is nearly gone. King Gambit has a protect, doesn't even need to worry about fake out. Clefairy, I don't remember if it's carrying protect.
It has life, dude, but
It
don't
can heal up
imagine.
King Gambit even more. Like there's just no way for Elena to really check this King Gambit at this point. There is one option I see, but the fact that Clefairy just has follow me means you're probably not going to get a lot out of this. King Gambit going for protect.
Yeah, it will protect. It's going to deny that fake out pressure. Hurricane going to come out. It goes into the protect. Incineroar also going to go ahead and get a move at some point. Flare Blitz goes into the protect. Are you kidding me? No way. And now we're going to get the big recovery?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. You don't like this position. You don't like this position at all.
No, so I think
Oh,
Stefan playing
man.
this really safely. Tailwind now down. The thing that Elena might have needed to do was try to dodge some sucker punches, but now needing to get a much cleaner KO on this King Gambit with
Friend guard. Yeah, friend guard is in place still. It's not gonna do as much as you want it to. And even if you think you're gonna click that button, there's still a sucker punch.
Yeah.
+4. That's a lot of damage.
Ton of damage. Hurricane coming out here is
And
gonna
it's
miss.
oh my god. No way, dude. Flare Blitz got redirected, and now this is gonna be able to find a massive KO and threaten the other Pokemon with a sucker punch.
Yeah, so not even the sucker punch, just going for a safe Kowtow cleave into Incineroar. Not going to be enough damage for the KO.
Oh, okay, okay.
So now Elena's going to have to play around with possibly using Fake Out to get around Sucker Punch. Scratch that, actually. The fact that Rillaboom hits the field means you can just Fake Out Incineroar and go for a Kowtow cleave. Incineroar cannot protect itself, and Pelipper surely cannot do enough damage to KO this King Gambit. The only way that Pelipper could have done enough damage was to confuse the King Gambit there, make it hit itself with its +4 attack. But Elena just throwing in the towel saying, you know, I'm not just going to roll the dice. This is looking over, and I want to get out of here. It's late.
It's late. I'm
I
going
played
home.
hard. I'm proud of how I played today, but these finals just weren't it.
Hey, second place in that kind of match
Absolutely.
is very viable. Hey, we take those. And not for nothing, Elena played amazing all day today.
Yeah.
Very well played, very accomplished player. But unfortunately, Stefan is the one, or fortunately, depending on who you're asking. Stefan's going to be the one to walk away with this game, and that's it. That's our last match.
Yeah. Stefan playing something that he's definitely comfortable with. I know he's a big Clefairy fan. He loves redirection setup, and this format lends itself really well to his sort of playstyle. And I'm curious how far he can go with this sort of team. I don't know if he's going to Baltimore, or we'll find out soon. But yeah, this team is definitely well constructed to Stefan's strong suits, and he plays it very well.
Very well. Well, this has been the BPVT Challenge. Oh, wait, hold on. Production.
Interview with Peggy.
Oh, interview? You want to do
take it.
All right, interview. I'll be out of here. I've been Solex Cross. See you later.
Later, boss.
Whenever you're ready.
Alrighty. Why is my mic cut? Hello. We are here with the BP Challenge champion, Stefan Mott, fellow Midwestern regional champion, a few years later than me, but you also started a few years later than me.
True.
Great playing on
Thank
stream.
you.
I think you navigated perfectly to just playing your Clefairy. Clefairy really showed off here.
It's a good Pokemon.
Definitely.
Our judge Charlotte will agree with me that Clefairy is pretty goated.
Oh, Clefairy's absolutely diva.
So, talk me through game one. Did you expect a fake out into the Gastrodon turn one, or were you expecting to tank a Woodhammer? and just say, I'm going to get my damage with my Zoroark. I'll let it go down from Woodhammer because, it was a Gastrodon at that point.
Yeah.
It was threatened by, Grassy Glide wouldn't have taken the KO, I assume.
So I was expecting the Fake Out to go into the Volcarona, actually. I just figured, like, with Terra Dragon, there's very little that can be done to counteract the initial Volcarona play. Like, it's very unlikely that he's going to, or that she's going to hit. Actually, she did play Weather Ball. She clicked Weather Ball instead of
that was a few turns
Hurricane.
later.
No. The turn 1 was a Weather Ball.
It was.
It was a weird turn 1. I wasn't expecting Fake Out into the Gastrodon. The read was that Gastrodon should protect here. So the expectation was if this is a Gastrodon, it's going to protect.
Yes.
And so I was expecting just like some denial on the Volcarona, and then I would just be able to click Hyper Voice, and like even though like maybe Glide picks up, I think it depends a little bit on the investment of the Rillaboom. It's a Miracle Seed Rillaboom, so like that does change things a little bit. So like maybe that there's a possibility for Glide to pick up the Zoroark, but like even then it's still threatening Hyper Voice turn 2.
Yeah.
So like, and also there's also the knowledge that there is a Gastrodon in the back, so like there needs to be some amount of cautious play around the Rillaboom in order to actually come out ahead of that. And then what ended up happening is that the Zoroark just picked up the double KO, and then without Rillaboom, there's not really much that can be done around the Gastrodon in the end game. So honestly, it's a really terrible matchup for her. Elena has, like, Rain, the team is designed to beat Rain, and then there are certain things on Rain teams that are easier for my team. So like if the Basket Legion is Terra Water, that's easier for me because I know I can just KO it with a Grassy Glide whenever I feel like it, which is kind of nice.
I was honestly, I shouldn't be shocked given that it's Miracle Seed, but I know Bastion Legion has so much HP, I was shocked that it just one-shot.
It's like 68 def or something. Like it's like the rest of its stats are actually kind of awful. Like it's really carried by the fact that its move pool is really, really good to like compensate for its like pretty okay but not amazing attack. And its typing's like really good. Like the Basket Legion's a really good Pokemon, but like Gastrodon, Clefairy. Gastrodon Zoroark is really bad for Rain teams, it turns out. Like, you have so much that you have to respect as the Rain player immediately, turn 1, turn 2. And, like, I can bring Zoroark in the 3rd slot, and, like, especially if the Rillaboom leads, like, I can bring in Zoroark and be like, oh, if they brought Zoroark, they would have let it. It's like, nope, it's just here in the back. Like, there's so many ways I can play this matchup. It's a bit of a fortunate draw for me, I think, in the finals.
I'm just returning to my initial question. So had Woodhammer gone on to the Hisuian Zoroark, your answer is pretty much, okay, if I get that KO, I'm doing enough with Hyper Voice, Rillaboom's taking enough recoil, Rillaboom's off the field, and now Gastrodon's pretty free to just do Gastrodon things.
Yeah, like, realistically, Volcarona kind of farms that matchup as long as I don't get hit by Basket Legion, and I have Rilla, I have Gastro, I have a lot of ways to prevent that from happening. So, like, I was fine as long as I just get a Quiver Dance or 2 up. I figured that line would be pretty effective. And the same kind of goes for the King Gambit, honestly. Like, the King Gambit also, like, if you get enough Swords Dances up, like, at plus, I don't even know if I needed the Helping Hand for the Sucker Punch there. Like, I'd already used my Terra, so, like, my calcs are... I've memorized more +2 Terra calcs than +3 no Terra calcs.
4.
So I just wanted to be a little extra safe there. But, like, the King Gambit kind of goes hard. Like, it's just... Honestly, I think Elena made the best out of a really bad situation. Just a really unfortunate matchup.
In game 1, there was a point where I thought Elena could have taken it back when it was down to, it was at that point +1 Volcarona, and on the side I believe was, not Gastrodon. Maybe it was Gastrodon. And I was thinking she could just go for Last Respects into Volcarona and go for a Blood Moon into the then Gastrodon. And had it caught the Rillaboom on the switch, I think she could have won. I'm curious what you were thinking in that position. You protected Volcarona from there, I recall.
Yeah, I thought I thought that she always protects the Blood Moon there.
I was curious as to why she did. In your head, why was it always a protect on her Blood Moon?
Because, like, Last Respects is good, but I threaten the potential for, like, I have, like, a Yawn potential there. I also have the potential for, like, just clicking the, what's it called? Giga Drain into it, and that did 90 into the Terra. Like, I think honestly, like at that point, I think you're right that like a hard read on the Rilla switch in could have potentially won the game for her. But it's also a Mystic Water Basque Legion off 150 base power last respect instead of Choice Band. So I'm not 100%
You were at
sure that
about
would
half, so I'm
yeah,
pretty sure
it probably would have picked up. But I think from there, regardless, I think
Tailwind was up, all
Rillaboom,
that.
I think at the end, like the Gastro is not going down to that. Like the Gastro is definitely surviving. So I think the play there is like the Gastro threatens a yawn, the Gastro threatens like a double up. Like there's a lot of things that were I'm like maybe misremembering the board state a little bit. But like based on the board state, I was very sure that the Ursulino was going to protect her.
Okay. You may be. I'm not trying to say, like.
I might have misplayed it. It's been a long day.
I think you might be misremembering what I'm talking about. But either way, you won. You took it. You're feeling it. Are you going to Baltimore?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm testing a different team on Tuesday at the Rhode Island local, so we'll see.
Cool.
Like,
I was just saying that this team really benefits your style. Clefairy, setup. It's a very you not doing super bulky Trick Room like you used to.
I think also the Zoroark is super like a lot of the team is built around the Zoroark.
Really?
And like insofar as you have natural like direct synergy with like King Gambit's weak to fighting and like you want to hit the Zoroark with fighting, but also you can't just double protect and in front of a lead and just find out if it's a Zoroark, because I have 2.5 setup Pokemon on this team. Like something that I used yesterday at the Cup, and I used it once today. It's a bit more of a niche strategy, but like Gastrodon gets a Storm Drain boost off of Life too. So like I can just lead Gastrodon Clefairy and just beef up the Gastrodon to like +4 and just start taking one-shots. And like it's a Gastrodon next to a Clefairy with leftovers. Like it's not dying.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that really hard punish things that you would naturally want to do against a Zoroark team. So like it makes the opponent really respect every lead a lot more, and it kind of forces them to play a lot of mind games that I myself can opt out of. Like I can just play like Volcarona Clefairy, and I can just play a setup Volcarona game, but my opponent has to play that turn one where they're like panicking about, like I played Ja earlier in Swiss, and like game 3 turn 1, like he had Electabuzz King Gambit, and like his Electabuzz was kind of annoying for me in that set, so I just Terra Normal Hyper Beamed at turn 1, and like he doesn't have an Electabuzz anymore, and like I like what I can do is I can also position like I can do that with like a fake Gastrodon, knowing that he's gonna click Woodhammer into it, and then I don't have the recharge turn because I'm dead, which is great, and then I get a free switch. And like, there's a lot of really cool things that Zoroark can do with the pieces on the team, like the Gastrodon stuff with the rain. Like, there's so many natural pieces of synergy. Some really funny mind games as well that I can talk to you about after as well. But like, I like it. I think the Pokemon's really good. There's very few teams it fits on, I think.
Absolutely, and I think you constructed it really perfectly and explained very well why it belongs on this team. So lastly, just any shout-outs?
Shout out to Rose. It's her birthday today. She did very well today. She did not cut,
Rose.
but she went 3-2. So she got the requisite number of wins. Just wasn't the day.
Yeah.
She's also kind of popping off recently. She beat Jay yesterday, and she beat John Lyons today. So I'm very proud of Rose. Very happy birthday to Rose. And big shout outs to our newest judge in the Northeast, Charlotte. She's somewhere over there.
Love you.
They're somewhere over there. And Jake, shout outs to you.
Thank you.
Best interviewer in the room.
Alrighty. And with that, Charlotte, take us off.